Hello everyone and welcome you all to the first chapter of the Adobe Premiere Pro project-based tutorial. So here in this class, I'll be teaching you guys how you can actually make a cinematic look in your Premiere Pro video, okay? So you will get a cinematic view. I'll be showing you how you can use the adjustment layer, and also I'll be showing you how you can actually do the editing of the whole frame, how you can actually put the color grading. I'll tell the usage of the Lumetri scopes and also the Lumetri colors, okay? How you can actually use those blocks to work things out. So let's get started. So here, as you guys can see, I'm in the homepage of the Adobe Premiere Pro. So from here, what I'll do is I'll just click on new project, and here you guys can see the new project. And now I will just name this project as cinematic cinematic view. Okay, I'll just name this one kind of like this, and from here I can actually check the import settings, and now I will just click here to create a new file. Okay, so I'll click on create over here, and I will just create a new file. As you guys can see, I am here in the workspace of the Adobe Premiere Pro. So now the first thing what I need to do is I need to import my media. Okay, so double click here, and from here what I'll do is I'll search for my media. Maybe I'll take this one. I'll open this here in my media panel. And again, what I'll do is I'll just create a sequence out of it. Okay, so new sequence from clip. Click on this one, and here you guys can see that I do have my sequence. So how you'll differentiate basically that which one is your sequence or which one is your file, okay, just the media file. Here you can see a small icon over here. So once you hover your mouse over that thing, you will see a writing called sequence. And if I put this one here, here you guys can see it is just video used one time. Okay, so this is the basic video, and this one is the sequence regarding which we'll be learning here in this particular class. And now what I will do is I'll come here, I'll go to the new item, and from the new item, what I'll do is I'll just create one adjustment layer from here. So I will just click on OK. So I do have my adjustment layer over here right now. So now I will also name this one. So I will name this one as color correcting. Okay, so I'll just name this one as color correcting, and I will just save this thing over here. And now what I'll do is I'll just bring this layer and I'll put the layer on top of this thing. Okay, I will just increase the size from here. Okay, as you guys can see, I now do have these two layers. And what I'll do is now I'll come here, go to the windows, and while you are in the windows, come to the Lumetri scopes. Okay, so I'll just open the Lumetri scopes over here. I'll come here. I will select this layer. So I just close the panel, again come here in the windows, and I'll go to the Lumetri scopes. And here you guys can see I do have this particular page over here. So now what I need to do is, as you guys can see, a settings box over here. So what I'll do is I need to make sure that I on my parade and the waveform, and I will just off everything else. Okay, so there are different parade types. So here I'll take the RGB, and in the waveform type, I will take the Luma. So I'll just take both of this from here. And now what I'm going to do is I'll come here again, and now I will go to the Windows tab, and I'll all my Lumetri color. So once I'm here in my Lumetri color option, what I can do is I can just on the basic correction from here. And in the basic correction, you guys can see I do have different type kind of LUT. Okay, so I'll just put none over here. And now I can again come here in the color option, and from here I can increase or decrease the temperature. If I want to increase the temperature, I can increase those things as well. Okay, so for me, what I'll do is I will just bring the Lumetri scopes somewhere here. So now I will just change the side from here. Okay, I have just put the Lumetri scopes here. And here I do have this thing. Okay, so I will just increase or decrease the tint a bit. I'll just increase the temperature. I will just work something around with the saturation. And after that, you guys can come to the light. And what you also can do is you guys can just bring this thing or just take a good look here. I will just change the exposure. I will just little bit change the contrast. I need to bring this one somewhat to 0. Okay, so I will bring this one to 0. And also in the highlights, we can basically work little things out. And here are the whites. Okay, so I will not be focusing more on the whites, but here I'll be focusing more on the blacks. Okay, so I'll just kind of do like this. And now here are different things here as well. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is the color hue and saturation curve. Okay, and here this one is the RGB curve. Okay, so basically here also you guys can work out. So for me, what I'll do is personally, I'll just put 3 or 4 icons over here. So I'll just keep this one. I will just put another one here, another one, and again over here. So now after creating the curves, what I'm going to do is I will adjust the placing from here. Okay, you guys can see the change over there as well. And now I will just bring this thing here in the center and I will just make some kind of S shape over here. Okay, so this is the shadow and this is basically the midtone and this is the highlight. Okay, so I will just increase the highlight a little bit and right here I will also create some box. So now as I do have this thing, okay, what I'm going to do is I'll just check how it used to look before. So here as you guys can see how it looked before and how it is looking now. Okay, so this thing is quite done. I will just on this one. And now what I can again do here is I will just close this box and I will close the curves box totally and I'll come to the color wheels match. Okay, and I'll try to select a comparison view. Okay, so this is the comparison view and this is basically the reference. And now for that what I can actually do is if I just come here in this option over here, I'll right click here and now I will double click and here in my resource file I do have a screenshot. So I'll just keep this screenshot over here. So this is the changes which I have put here in my video. Okay, so this is the reference and this is the current video. Okay, so now I can actually see a preview. Okay, here you guys can see I will be able to work this around. So now what I can do is I can just bring this. Okay, I will just bring this screenshot here and now if what I can do is I can come here and I can just increase the size of this thing. Okay, so this one is kind of the same. Okay, so now the first thing what I'm going to do here is what I'll do is I will come and transform this. So I'll just select this particular thing from here. And now I will come to this panel over here. So essential graphics, Lumetri color. Let's see what all options do I have here. So I will just come up with this essential effect controls. And from here, I will just increase or transform. So I'll just scale this thing up from here. Okay, so basically you guys can just scale this thing up and yeah, I will just click here on OK. And now what I'll do is as this particular screenshot is over here. Okay, I have just imported this particular screenshot. Okay, which I already do have here. You guys can also use something which is kind of the similar color. So now what you can do is again, you can come here to this panel. Okay, so I'll just come to this panel over here. I'll check out this effect controls. Okay, so we can work out with all of this. And if I again go to the Lumetri colors, okay, so here I will go to the Lumetri color, which is over here. I can basically apply match. Okay, so if I just apply match, it will be the same color as this thing. So here, as you guys can see, I have clicked on apply match from here, and you can also get the comparison view. Okay, if you on this one here, you guys can see the comparison view, and now this thing is particularly analyzing. Okay, so here if you click, it will just give you back the same color. Sometimes it might take some time. Okay, so here you guys can see now if I click on apply match, here you can see the changes in my screen. So now to give this a more good effect, what I can do is I will just uh, close the comparison view from here. Okay, I'll close the comparison view. I'll just close this tab as well, this curves, the color wheels. Okay, so I will just close this tab as well, and I'll come to the HSL secondary one. Okay, so from here, what I can do is I just want to feed this one first. Okay, so this one is kind of okay, and I want to concentrate the color on the black or the subject first. Okay, so here I will choose this subject over here, and here you guys can see I can arrange the blacks from here. As you guys can see, I can actually arrange this color, and from here also I can just concentrate there more as well. Okay, so now I will click on this color gray, and now from here, as you guys can see, I can just increase or decrease the denoise. If I want to blur it a bit, I can give it a blur. So from here I will just keep the denoise something around like this. Okay, and from here in the color correction, what I can also do is I can just select this layer or select these three things. And now I want to adjust the shadow a little bit and the mid-tone a little bit from here. Okay. And also I can change the highlight. Okay. So I'll just change the highlight. If I want to change the temperature, I can basically change the temperature, and I can just change the contrast. I can also sharpen the image if I want to sharpen. If I want saturation, I can use the saturation here as well. Okay, so now as you guys can see, I have selected the color gray, and here I will just back again, and I will just close this one, and this is how it actually looks right now. Okay, so this is how it will actually look. And what I can do now is I can again come here, as I have only selected this part over here for now, like this middle thing. Okay, the both of them over here. And again, what I can do is I will just come up somewhere here. Okay, take this tool, and now again I will select this from here, select the color gray option. Okay, and what I want to do is I just want to invert the layer right now. Okay, so now whatever I'll do, it will affect that particular layer. So for that, what I can do is I can come here, I can just increase the denoise. If I want to give this a blur effect from the sides, I can just give this a blur effect. If I want to change the shadows, I can basically change the shadows. So from here also you guys can basically work out. Okay, so here you need to select this thing. So individually you guys will be able to work with all of these things out. And from here also you guys can just sharpen the image, or I'll just sharp this a little bit from here. Okay, so I'll just give this, and I'll just decrease the contrast. And yeah, this kind of looks good. And this is how it actually looks right now. Okay, so this is how it actually looks right now. And what I'm going to do is now I will somewhere come up over here. And once everything is done, I'll just off this color panel as well. Okay, just I'll off this layer, and what I'm going to do is I'll just come to the vignette option. And from here, I will select the midpoint. Okay. The amount. Okay. The lighting. And also I can check the roundness from here. And also I can check the feather. Okay. So I'll just decrease this thing a bit, and maybe kind of like this. And yeah, this kind of looks good. So this is how I can actually take this frame down. So now what I'll do is I'll just create another adjustment layer. So for that, I will come here in the project, and from here, I will create another adjustment layer. Yeah, it should be the same size. Okay. So here, once I'm in this particular adjustment layer, what I'll do is I will just put this one over here. Okay. So I'll just place this one here in the same sequence. Okay, so I'm here. It's in the same sequence. I'll just increase the size of this thing. Okay, so I'll just maintain the size, and this one as well. I'll just maintain the size from here. And once I've selected this particular thing, again, what you can do is come to this Lumetri color option, go to the HSS secondary, go to this key. And now what I can do is I'll select this layer, and I will just select over here. And now open the color gray option, and I will just invert this one. Okay. I will just invert this one, and now I will just arrange the color. So I'll just give some color to this thing. If you want to do some correction, you guys can basically do some corrections from here as well. Okay. And basically, you guys can work around with the color, okay, the contrast, and the saturation. And you can also change the vignette from here. Okay. So I'll just change the vignette. I'll just change the feather and come here again. Okay, so you need to come here again, and from here you need to off this color gray option. Okay, so as you guys can see how it actually looks, how it's quite different from the other layers. So here, once I have done this thing is quite ready. You guys can actually see the view from here. Okay, so if I just off this layer, okay, so now what I'll do is if I want to add more effects, in that case, what I do is I'll come here to the effects option, and here I will search for the video effects from here. And I do have different type of effects which I can use. Okay. So I can use all of these things from here. If I want to particularly search for something, I can basically search for something here as well. Okay. You guys can always go back. And after that, you guys can actually see there are few of the Lumetri presets. Okay, so here Lumetri presets are there. So now from here again, I will come to this video effects option. I have just give you guys a preview of how it actually looks. Come to the transform option, and from here select on this crop. Okay, so bring this one and just put this one somewhere here. Okay, just add this one in this adjustment layer. And now what you can do is you need to come here. Okay, effects controls, and go to the effect controls. And if you want to decrease from the top, okay, you guys can decrease it from top. Okay, little bit. And now from down also, if from bottom you just want to give some cut, and here from the right and also from the left. Okay, so you guys can just cut a little bit from the right and a little bit from the left as well. Okay, so this is how it will basically look. And if you want to edge the feathers, you guys can do that. If you want to kind of zoom in, you guys can zoom into the screen. And here they're also asking me if you want to create any mask. Okay, so basically from here you guys can create all this mask, and from here as well you guys can put some color correction from here if you want to put. Okay, so for that again I will come here, and now I will go to the Lumetri colors, and I will come here, go to the curves or just the basic correction. So I'll just select this and maybe come to this layer. And now I can actually change the temperature and the tint, okay, the saturation. If I want to change the exposure, I can change the exposure, contrast, and blacks, and also whites. Okay, so here I'll just increase the whites from here. Okay, so this is how it will basically look. And I'll also show you how you can actually put some LUT effects, okay, some of the preset effects. So from here, you just need to come to the Lumetri colors. And from the Lumetri colors here, you can see under the basic correction, I do have different options over here. From here, basically, I can browse if I do have any preset from my system, I can get access to that. And auto, if you want to change all these things auto, you guys can do that from here as well. So there are different ways of to do the same thing. Okay, here you guys can see how it basically looks right now. And this is the Phantom one. This is the Alexa V3. And I'll just put none. And if you want to custom it, you guys can always custom this one from here. Okay, I'll just go back again. And if you want to change here also, okay, so there are a few of the things. So here are a few of the looks from which you guys can choose from here. Okay. So here also are different creative looks. Okay. So I'll just put none over here. And from here, basically, I can change the intensity, the sharpness from here. Okay. And also I can change the vibrance. Okay. And I can just check the saturation. Come down here if you want to work on with this thing like the shadow and the tint, you guys can work on with the shadow and tint as well. Okay, so from here, if you want to balance the tint, you guys can also do that. So yeah, my thing is almost done, and I hope you guys know how you can actually work around right now. Okay, so this is how it looks without the effects. Okay, and this is how it looks right now. Okay, so let's see a preview of this one over here. So now this kind of looks quite good, and to make that look more good, in that case, double click here and get on some music. I'll come here, and what I can do is I can just put this here as well. Okay, so I'll just, or I can just bring this layer somewhere over here. So I'll just select all these three, and now I will just bring all of these three down all together. So now I can actually see how it actually looks. So these are some of the effects which you guys can use to create some stunning cinematic view. So see you all in the next chapter where I'll be showing how you can add text behind moving text objects. Okay? Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.